Hello and welcome to Crux Investor. We caught up early today with Glenn Jessam, CEO of Silver Tiger Metals. Press release came out this morning, so we picked up the phone to talk about some of these high-grade silver results that they're seeing. If you want our thoughts on the conversation and the company itself, you can find that at cruxinvestor.com/club, where you can also find detailed company reports and analysis. There's training videos on there to help you with your diligence process, the summaries of other interviews that we've done to save you some time. There's commentary from experts from around the world on a variety of companies and commodities, including silver. Plus, you can join a thriving community of investors sharing their thoughts and ideas with each other in a nice, safe, friendly environment. Wouldn't that be nice? So do go and join them. You might like it at cruxinvestor.com/club. We'd also like your feedback too. So give us a like. We'd appreciate that. You leave your thoughts below. We get back to absolutely everyone. And of course, if you want to see exactly what we talked about today, take a look in the description below. Glenn, how you doing, sir?
Good morning from Halifax, Matt.
Good morning. It's quite a good morning, isn't it?
Well, it's a good morning. We've got some great news out on Silver Tiger, but I'll tell you, it's been a little bit of a scramble. We've got about 25 to 30 centimeters of snow out there. You can probably just see it through my office window.
Oh, wow.
So getting my wife to surgery and kids to school this morning was a chore, but here we are, and we're all ready to go.
Well, okay. Well, the snow's a bonus, obviously, but I'm calling you because your press release this morning, just a little bit impressive. So I appreciate picking up the phone to me. I guess you're now going to say, Glenn, I told you so, Matt. Is that what's happening?
Matt, I would never do that. I would never say, I told you so. I never, okay?
Right. Okay. Well, you've got to be pleased. I know you were sort of hinting at it when we spoke just over a week ago. Yeah. How do you stop smiling? Stop smiling. It's too much. No, and look, congrats on that, because I think you were building a picture last week of a district which was yet to be opened up. So it had some nice numbers, but these numbers, they change things considerably, don't they?
You know, for me, when we saw these a little over a week ago, the preliminaries, you know our technical team, Matt, they've been there 25 years. And, they don't get too excited about stuff. We had the Benjamin, beautiful new vein. That's wonderful. Can we get a couple of 100,000 gold equivalent ounces on that thing? Let's get to work. Out of all of the team, and I'm talking the in Mexico team, 25 years of discovery, they just use the word game changer. And that's really what this is.
Right.
More to be drilled, but very, very exciting hole.
Does it change anything in terms of your plan going forward? The one that you outlined to me last week.
Well, I told this story to someone yesterday, and they chuckled. And it's like your children. I've got 6 children, and I've got 3 cookies. Now, the cookies are the drills. The children all want 2 cookies. So the problem now is we are just seeing unbelievable targets. So the only problem I have is I have too many super targets and not enough drills, but we're going to fix that. I'll kind of tell you as we go, sort of on a triage basis, where we've had to, because the mountain's demanding it, put these drills. Okay,
before we kind of get into that, because I wouldn't mind you sort of taking me through the announcement. We kind of agreed before we came on that might be a nice way for you to kind of point out the things that you think we should be paying attention to, because I'm paying attention, I'll tell you. Is the market's doing this thing at the moment, the silver thing, right? So there's a game afoot after GameStop. There's a game afoot around silver. It's very high profile, with a lot of people who don't really know what they're walking into or why, but they feel it's going to move. So how's that affecting your ability to get people to be serious about you versus the next guy down the road who perhaps hasn't got such a good project?
Well, from our perspective, we're always long silver. Our philosophy is how you never miss an up silver market is you never leave it for 25 years. It usually works out okay. We think that silver is inevitably going to have its day or year or 2 or 3. It's an inframetal. It's an industrial metal. It's a precious metal. So this was all coming. This was a little unexpected. But what it really does, I mean, it just creates liquidity for silver explorers, the good ones. I think, Matt, we've traded massive volume the last couple of days. I think yesterday almost 4 million shares, up to 63 cents. When you're jumping 20%, it's wonderful for your shareholders. And then it's nice to be able to deliver the results that we have, is showing that we are, we think, separating ourselves from our peers. What it does for us is liquidity, share appreciation, but capital is very, very much available also, and at very good valuation. So it's a wonderful thing for us.
But do you think it's real? It's kind of synthetic. It feels kind of synthetic, and that's what I'm saying. The different and the way it would impact good companies versus ordinary companies versus bad companies. They're all getting the same coverage at the moment, right? So when does that equalize?
Well, I think the great equalizer is always, what do they call the drill? The truth machine. We've heard that before. We're pretty happy to have this result coming out right now. If this just separates us from what you talked about. I don't want to in any way speak against any of my peers. I'd never do that. Just there's our result. This is the market we're in. But what I think it's done is it's a move. I think that we love where silver was at $25. Silver is fantastic for us as silver developers and miners. We love it. We think that it's probably opened the eyes of a whole new generation that probably didn't look at silver and that's what I think the longer term effect is going to be. Do I think that this is going to last and last? I don't plan my business on the highs or the lows. We always plan our business here. So we think it's a very positive thing, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right way to be. I saw a JP Morgan report coming out, I think it was last week, talking about just focus on the fundamentals, not the flare. Not the flare. Well, look, why don't can we agree that you pull up the announcement and maybe point us at the things that you think are important, perhaps that we may be missing?
I think I'll do that. I think I can share my press release here. That might be the easiest, Matt. There we go. Look, the result, first of all, let's just talk about that headline. Incredible width and grade. It speaks for itself. You can see some of in the highlights, the very high grade intercepts within it. What we're really seeing that is quite... And we're trying to figure this out as we go. This new mineralization we're talking about, Matt, we've never seen it at El Tigre. And remember, there was a lot of mining on the old mine done. There was a lot of technical papers written. This is a very well understood area. The old timers wouldn't want anything to do with that. They wanted that high grade quartz vein. This we see as a big, and I'm trying to make it so that a layperson, even like myself, not a geologist, as a securities lawyer, can understand. It's like a sponge, and it's just basically when these pulses came of mineralization, it looks like this big body, this wide mineralized zone, just sucked it all up. That's as simple as I can make it right now. Because look at the metals in it, from the base metals. Look at some of the gold in there. I mean, we have an intercept of gold in there that's 22 grams per ton. We're seeing some very, very high metals across the board in this. Exciting stuff, early days. But let me tell you how we did it. And before we do that, I'm just to remind, if there's a first-time viewer here, I think we should look at the map for 1 minute. This is, as you know, Matt, we've got a 35-kilometer land package here. We're just looking at the brownfields right here on the screen. That's that 5 or 6 kilometers we've done all our work. You've got the old El Tigre mine. You can see it delineate there, 1.7 kilometers. All we've really been talking about since we started talking in the fall is, okay, we see up by the Cayley Protectora another ore chute developing, and we got to business up there. You've seen our drill results, more to come from there. I mean, 50% of those holes we put out were multi-kilo hits, wide zone of gold alteration around it. Couldn't be more happy. Last couple of holes, and this is how this develops so people understand. I think we talked about it last time. When that third drill went in the mountain, November 15th, we phased it in. My explorers who've been doing this for 25 years in Mexico, they said, that drill's ours. We're tired of the little step outs, 25 meters. We're going to go find something. And they put the 3 drills in the Benjamin. I'm not going to go over what happened there. In the flat formation, though, very important. And they hit that super wide, high-grade mineralization we talked about last time. I think we should point out on this map, what they wanted to do is they went 1.2 kilometers south, and they drilled under the Sui vein, which is the vein down at the old mine in the flat formation. what we were trying to do is, and I'm going to go to the cross section, I think it's important. Sometimes discovery is serendipity, and it's people with experience do it. We drilled this hole on the Sui vein, and you saw it before. I think it's important we go back to it. You can see around the old mine, so people understand the press release, the black down there, that's where the old timers mine. The rest they never touched. We'll get to all that. But on the Sui vein, they only went down 8 levels. We have all the underground maps, all the underground stopes, and they were mining when they stopped in 1930 because of the Great Depression, silver less than 20 cents. The stuff they were taking out of there was a couple of kilos. So that's very exciting to us. Pretty shallow target. So what we decided to do, what the team with the last hole just before Christmas, they stayed an extra 7 or 8 days to get it done. They were targeting just under that bottom mine stope. That's what we were going after. Hit that couple of meters of Sui, and let's see if we get that super high grade. Well, it's clear from this, and kind of tricked us in the beginning, that we didn't. We were just a little low. We went through the Sui in the mine workings. We will, of course, target a little deeper with our next holes because our target was get that Sui, and that would be a great intercept. This is where it got very interesting. We went through the footwall, and then the guys made that beautiful decision, the technical team. Let's see what's down there. Most people were through the vein. We missed it. It was a mine stope. Let's stop on the other side of the footwall. They drilled about 12 meters of totally dead rock, and then bang, they got into this beautiful new mineralization. Look, I'll be very honest. When we first saw it, we weren't that excited because no one had ever seen it before. When we saw the assays, we were very excited. Something very important, though, Matt, it's very recognizable. We have now moved 2 drill rigs here since January 5th, third week of January, when we saw what was coming at us. They've been banging away. When we see this going in the core boxes now, we can tell. Very different mineralization. It's not a quartz vein. We're still doing work to figure out exactly what it could be. Back to that big sponge that just ate up this mineralization during this epithermal event.
Well, I mean, obviously, very, very exciting for you. You were clearly excited about it, and your team seemed to be on the ground too. Just talk about what next, because I say, I'm seeing this further in the market for silver, which is great. How sustainable it is, because of the way it, the players involved is one thing. You've got to consistently deliver more of these results for people to get a sense of, the continued high grade vein nature, this, building up a picture of the scale of this thing. So what does the next few weeks or months of assays look like? What can we expect to see?
Well, it's back to those cookies again. I have 3 cookies today. I'm going to get more cookies. We need a 4th cookie to be to be phased in here, and then a 5th. They don't both happen at the same time. It's going to take us 30 days to get the 4th drill, probably another 30 days to phase in the next drill. You've seen that as we did it during the fall. Get one going, get the next team, because with each drill comes 25 people. It's not just the drill and turn it on. You have to have those people ready to be back on the to go. So I would say right now with our 3 drills, the new discovery at the Benjamin absolutely demanded a drill. So we are cutting core. We're probably on the 3rd hole there now. It's going very well. We like what we're seeing. So more results to come very soon on that. Down around the Sui, we have those 2 drills. They've been turning. I think we've got 2 more holes in the core box. It's not rocket science what we're going to be doing at the Benjamin. Stepping south, stepping north, following that 500 or 600 meter vein we've found. Down on the Sui, here's what we're targeting. We're going a little bit deeper. And I don't mean 20 meters deeper. Maybe it's 5 meters. Because at some point, we have the records. We're going to get 2 things, Matt, at the Sui. We're going to get that Sui vein. Then we're going to go through the football, and we're going to get into this new mineralization. That's what we're shooting for now, which will make the holes even better. So there, we're just going to step out south, step out north, go a little deeper. Actually, go above it for sure. We won't get the Sui vein, but we want to see how big this thing is looking. And so far, so good. So you're going to be seeing in the next, will it be 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks? You should start seeing some stuff coming off the Benjamin, which we're going to be looking forward to. And then you're going to see a steady diet of what these two drills are spitting out in SUI/new mineralization in the flat formation. We're going to have to get a name for that. We'll have one next time. It's pretty new right now, but we don't know what.
The Crux Zone. It just sounds right. It just feels right. I don't know.
Of course. The Crux Zone. You know what? I'm going to take that under advisement. That might be perfect.
Well, look, Glenn, I'm really pleased for you because, like I say, you said it was coming. You said you thought you had identified something meaningful. Your team seemed to have done that. So, congrats on that. More importantly, I think getting a bit of share recognition is great. I'm waiting to sort of see what the reaction is to this announcement, and I hope it doesn't get lost in the melee out there because it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is, but we don't look. Here's the difference. And one of the team members said this, and this will prove it out. They said, Glenn, the night we looked at it, it was late. Everybody was pretty excited. We were talking about this at 11:30 on a Saturday night when we saw the result. The whole team, Mexico, the whole thing, and it was Game Changer was used, but also. Congratulations, Glenn. If this is what it looks like, you just stopped exploring here and you'll be immediately drilling a deposit. Now, we haven't proven that yet, but if that's the case, then we're not worried about the reaction today because this, as we go, will really take care of value itself. That's really what I'm excited about. So let's see those next 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 holes, and then we'll really know what we've got, and we're pretty excited.
Good man. Okay, well, appreciate you picking up the phone today. Keep coming back on, telling us the story. I can see kind of like your sister company, Go Gold. This could be building into something meaningful. Actually, I caught up with Brad last week.
Oh, did you? Oh, very good.
Yeah. There was and I asked, and there's a certain smile on his face, which I recognize. I think he's also pleased with what you boys are doing.
Yeah, he's very pleased. He's a very big shareholder, as you know, so he's always pleased. He's bought a lot of stock. But look, he's Go Gold, unbelievable. He's this morning in Mexico heading for Los Ricos, so he'll be walking around there in a couple of hours. He's an incredible discoverer and an incredible guy, and Go Gold, what a company.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, Glenn, thanks for the catch up. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, Matt.